Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. This article comes to you guys from Business Wire. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So T-Mobile is hosting its second quarter earnings call on July 23rd. This one will be in the afternoon, 4:30 Eastern. So my big thing now is what will happen with T-Mobile. Not speaking from a perspective like they're going to go anywhere or they're in a bad spot, but T-Mobile's initial strategy and go-to market and their big push was to differentiate themselves from the competition. But now with all these changes that T-Mobile has made and will still make, and now with Verizon releasing Project 624 tomorrow, and that's a T-Mobile Tuesday's competitor, right? So there's not much more that T-Mobile is doing differently that's a difference maker or differentiating, right? So taxes and fees no longer included on new plans, right? Just talking about future growth and where T-Mobile's heading. Taxes are no longer included. So the plan price is very, very, very similar to the competition now. Free lines, that's expected to go away as well. What could be in the favor of the consumer is the 36 months, because it does bring down the monthly payment of the device. So that could help lower your bill a bit. But other than that, what is T-Mobile doing that is differentiating? I just don't see it. I don't see T-Mobile as it stands today before they make any other changes like removing the free lines, and I just don't see what T-Mobile is doing today that is so different, right? Does T-Mobile still have better marketing and better material? Yeah, I'll admit I still think they do marketing better and it's more effective. Maybe that's a difference maker for them, the company. But what about the consumer? Like, what's so different that's going to make you leave Verizon and AT&T and move to T-Mobile? And we have to talk about it in that way because T-Mobile is preaching every quarter, every conference, every analyst day that they will have the largest amount of growth. So then what's driving people to T-Mobile if their plans and pricing and perks and value is not that different anymore, right? When taxes and fees were included still, when 24-month financing was a big deal, right? But now it's just not there anymore. So I just don't know what will set T-Mobile apart from the competition moving forward, right? So that's going to be very, very interesting to keep an eye on, right, for the rest of this year heading into next year as they potentially make even further change. There's got to be something that T-Mobile has to offer that still makes them different, right? T-Mobile Tuesdays was a differentiator, but now Verizon's going to do it, and maybe Verizon does it better. We just don't know, right? There's a lot of unknown variables right now. But for T-Mobile, as we go into this second quarter, right, we have to look at the churn. We have to look at the churn rate, right? We got to look at it. Right, if it's elevated, if it's still in the 090102, right, 091092, then I can say comfortably that customers are just leaving, right? They're not sticking around, they're leaving, right? Because if you're closer to 1%, you're losing millions a quarter. Now, if they still grow 400,000 or 500,000, maybe 600,000, then we can also still make the assumption that T-Mobile is able to outgrow the losses. So the volume is still there. But if they, once again, just like they did in the first quarter, if they come in below estimates, then it's going to affect T-Mobile again. And then we can discuss that once these numbers are released on the 23rd. Then I can say, then we can say, okay, you see now, churn is still up and they didn't hit estimates again, right? And then that's something that we can see consistently moving forward, right? Going into the third quarter, fourth quarter. It's possible, but we'll have to evaluate once those numbers are released. And then we also can evaluate by the changes that T-Mobile's making, right? But we still have to wait and see how that'll affect T-Mobile, right? The new plans, taxes and fees added on them, the changes, the other changes that they're making, potentially, like, you know, moving to the 36 months. We have to see how that'll affect their growth and the customer base and everything else, right? And then we still have the speculation that T-Mobile will continue to increase price, that they're going to charge for all the free lines at some point, right? For legacy. Forced migration, that's probably still in the works or on the plan. So all of that, once it's implemented, we have to evaluate, we have to look, we have to see. We have to wait and see until all of that is implemented and how that will affect T-Mobile's numbers. We have to look at it. So, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think is still today differentiating T-Mobile. And if you say, you know, it's nothing really, then, you know, leave that comment as well. If you're saying, hey, look, everything that has changed, and some of you might be of the opinion that, well, not opinion, but you might say, you know, if T-Mobile moves me off my legacy plan, I'm done. I'm leaving, right? Some of you might be in that boat because you're on a great plan, great deal, cheap cost. But if you are moved to a newer plan that pays more, you just might not see that same value anymore that you once did. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.